The Sultan of Brunei, he's under fire for imposing Sharia law in his nation.
Brunei is about the size of Delaware, yet it's number 5 on the Forbes list of the world's richest countries. And as John Blackstone shows us, the Sultan lived in stark contrast to his stated beliefs.
The Sultan is publicly enforcing harsh Islamic law, but privately he leads a life of opulence and decadence in his small, oil-rich nation.
What if one person's transformation could shake even the most powerful man in the world? The Sultan of Brunei, a man surrounded by wealth and power, is facing something he didn't expect. Known for his lavish lifestyle and strict rule, recent events suggest that even he's not immune to deep, unexpected emotions. And at the center of this transformation is Azrinaz Majar, a name that's become synonymous with change in the Sultan's royal life. Now let's dive into the remarkable story of Azrinaz, the woman who once had it all and left it all behind. What happened to her, and why did it leave the Sultan shaken? Azrinaz Majar Hakim, a former rising star in Malaysian journalism, was making headlines of her own before her life took a dramatic turn. At just 26 years old, she was on the fast track to success in the media world. But one fateful encounter changed everything. In an unexpected move, Azrinaz chose to step away from her promising career and marry Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei, one of the world's wealthiest rulers. Their 2005 marriage felt like a modern-day fairy tale, capturing the world's attention. Azrinaz quickly became a royal consort, bestowed with the title Pengiran Isteri, and she seamlessly adapted to her new life. With her grace and poise, she quickly became a respected figure in Brunei's monarchy, often seen at official events and cementing her place within the royal family. And not long after, Azrinaz gave birth to 2 children, a son and a daughter, securing her legacy in the royal bloodline. But as the years passed, it became clear that behind the glittering palace life, challenges were brewing. By 2010, things began to take a turn. The shocking divorce that shook the Sultan. Despite the wave of speculation and curiosity, both the Sultan and Azrinaz remained silent about the true reasons for their separation. The only thing that was certain was that their fairy tale life had come to a dramatic halt. Under Brunei's strict Sharia law, Azrinaz was stripped of her royal titles, effectively erasing her status within the monarchy. She had lost the royal privileges that once defined her, titles, prestige, the glamorous life she had grown accustomed to. But there was one thing that couldn't be taken away: her children. Rather than allowing the loss of her royal status to define her, Azrinaz chose a different path, a path of reinvention. Quietly and with quiet strength, she embarked on a journey to reclaim the life she had once put on hold. Before her marriage, she had already established a successful career as a journalist with Malaysia's TV3, earning a reputation for excellence. Many who had watched her rise in the media world were disheartened when she left her career behind to join the royal family. But after the divorce, Azrinaz made a comeback that no one expected. She re-entered the media industry with fierce determination, taking on new roles in television and public engagements. Her return wasn't just a professional revival. It marked a complete transformation in her life, both personally and emotionally. Azrinaz's social media presence began to grow as she became a voice of empowerment, reaching thousands of people and inspiring them with her resilience. No longer bound by her royal past, Azrinaz was determined to carve out a new identity, one that reflected her strength and spirit, not her royal title. Her journey was a testament to the power of reinvention, showing that even the most unexpected changes can lead to incredible new beginnings. Azrinaz Majar's life after her royal divorce was nothing short of a reinvention. Rather than being defined by loss, she took control of her narrative, turning every setback into an opportunity to grow. But it wasn't just her return to the public eye that caught the world's attention. It was her remarkable transformation, one that went far beyond the life she had once known. And the most surprising part? Even the Sultan of Brunei, a man known for his unshakable calm, couldn't ignore the change in his former wife. Reports suggest that Azrinaz's shift, both personally and professionally, stirred unexpected emotions in the Sultan. For a man who rarely shows vulnerability, this change offered a rare glimpse into his inner world. What exactly sparked this transformation? And why has it had such a profound effect on the Sultan himself? Let's take a deeper look at how Azrinaz Majar went from royal consort to empowered individual in a world that didn't always understand her. The evolution of Azrinaz, from local journalist to global inspiration. Imagine a young woman, fresh-faced and eager, stepping into the bustling world of media. The spotlight shines on her as she delivers the latest news with confidence and finesse. Her voice becomes a staple for viewers, and her face a familiar one in homes across Malaysia. But beneath the surface, Azrinaz was dreaming of something far bigger than the newsroom. Born into a humble family in Kuala Lumpur, Azrinaz was raised with strong values of hard work, discipline, and perseverance. Her parents instilled in her the importance of education, believing that it would unlock the doors to the future she imagined. From a young age, Azrinaz exhibited a natural curiosity about the world, particularly about the role media played in shaping perceptions. This drive led her to pursue a diploma in broadcasting, setting the stage for a promising career that would eventually take her far beyond the newsroom. As she climbed the ranks in journalism, Azrinaz's ambition and vision set her apart. Her rise in the media world was impressive, but it was her decision to step away from it all and marry the Sultan of Brunei that turned her life upside down. Few could have predicted the impact this would have on both her and the royal family. Her colleagues admired her relentless work ethic, discipline, and unwavering passion for journalism. Azrinaz was known for her meticulous attention to detail, spending long hours researching, fact-checking, and perfecting her delivery. But her rise wasn't just about talent, it was about her instinctive understanding of the power of media. She knew that the way stories were told could shape society's perception of the world. As a journalist, she navigated this responsibility with grace, always aware of the impact her words could have. Despite her success, however, fate had something unexpected in store for Azrinaz. In 2005, her life took an unimaginable turn when she met Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei, one of the world's wealthiest and most powerful rulers. Their introduction, orchestrated by mutual acquaintances, set off a series of events that no one could have predicted. The Sultan, known for his discerning eye and strong traditional values, was immediately struck by Azrinaz's intelligence, grace, and self-assured confidence. She was unlike anyone he had encountered before, and what began as a simple meeting soon blossomed into a deep connection. Despite their starkly different backgrounds, Azrinaz, a self-made journalist, and the Sultan, a monarch with centuries of royal lineage, their bond grew quickly. Before long, the Sultan proposed, and Azrinaz's life took a dramatic shift. What followed was a transformation from TV personality to a royal consort in one of the world's most secretive and lavish monarchies. Her journey from the fast-paced newsroom of Malaysia's TV3 to the grand halls of Istana Nurul Iman, the world's largest residential palace, was astonishing. One moment, she was reporting the news. The next, she was making headlines. What awaited her was a life filled with unimaginable luxury, rigid royal protocols, and constant public scrutiny. Her every move would be watched by both the media and Brunei's elite, a world far removed from the one she had known. A royal meeting, the unexpected turn in Azrinaz's life. When Azrinaz Majar Hakim agreed to meet Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei, she could never have imagined how dramatically her life would change. The meeting was arranged through mutual acquaintances, and despite the significant age gap between them, over 30 years, the connection was undeniable from the start. The Sultan, known for his reserved and dignified nature, was immediately captivated by Azrinaz's intelligence, poise, and humility. In a move that took many by surprise, the Sultan proposed to her, and she accepted. Just like that, Azrinaz's life as a successful journalist took a back seat to her new role in one of the world's most secretive and opulent royal families. It was a step into a world that couldn't have been more different from the life she'd known. The transition was monumental, but Azrinaz's journey to royalty was anything but ordinary. Azrinaz was born and raised in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, into a modest yet hard-working family that valued education above all else. This upbringing shaped her strong work ethic and independent mindset. As a young woman, she pursued her passion for media and communications, earning a diploma in broadcasting from the Malaysian Institute of Integrative Media. With her talent and determination, Azrinaz quickly climbed the ranks in Malaysia's media industry. By the late 1990s, she had firmly established herself as a rising star in journalism. Joining TV3, one of Malaysia's leading television networks, she became known for her professionalism, sharp reporting, and ability to connect with her audience. Whether covering political affairs or human interest stories, her work resonated deeply with viewers. Her colleagues admired her dedication, discipline, and team spirit, traits that would later help her navigate the complexities of Brunei's royal household. But life had an unexpected twist in store. In 2005, Azrinaz's career in journalism was interrupted by a marriage proposal from Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, marking the beginning of a new chapter. Becoming a royal consort meant stepping into a world of tradition, formality, and public expectations, one far removed from her high-profile career. Azrinaz had to leave behind her independence and the media career she'd worked so hard to build. The transition was drastic, and many questioned whether she could adapt to this new, strict way of life. But Azrinaz proved everyone wrong. With grace and dignity, she embraced her new role and quickly became a prominent figure within Brunei's royal family. She attended official functions, charity events, and religious ceremonies alongside the Sultan, gaining admiration for her elegance and refined demeanor. These traits, honed during her years in the media, set her apart and made her beloved among Brunei's people. Just a year into her marriage, she gave birth to her first child, Prince Abdul Wakil Bolkiah. The birth of the prince surprised many, as few knew that Azrinaz was even expecting. The birth of Azrinaz's first child, Prince Abdul Wakil Bolkiah, was met with grand celebrations across Brunei. A 21-cannon salute near Istana Nurul Iman marked the occasion, and the excitement surrounding the birth echoed throughout the nation. 2 years later, Azrinaz gave birth to her second child, Princess Amira Wardatul Bolkiah. The arrival of both children added a new dimension to her life in the palace, as her responsibilities shifted to include motherhood within the complex world of royal protocol. Raising children in such a formal and traditional environment was no easy task. The balance between her duties as a royal consort and the demands of motherhood required immense strength and resilience. Azrinaz approached this challenge with the same dedication that had defined her career, proving that the values she carried from her days in journalism, discipline, focus, and perseverance, were just as vital in her new royal role. Life in Istana Nurul Iman, the Sultan's official residence, was a mix of grandeur and strict tradition. The palace, often considered the largest residential palace in the world, boasted over 1,700 rooms, lavish marble interiors, gilded furniture, and sprawling gardens. It was a stunning display of opulence. However, beyond its imposing exterior, the palace operated as a highly structured institution, governed by traditions that dictated every aspect of royal life. As one of the Sultan's wives, Azrinaz was expected to navigate the intricate dynamics within the royal family. The Sultan's first wife, Pengiran Anak Saleh, held the prestigious title of Queen Consort, making her the highest-ranking woman in the household. As a junior wife, Azrinaz had to carefully manage her position, respecting the queen consort's authority while also fulfilling her own royal duties. This delicate balancing act created a complicated dynamic within the royal household. Despite her best efforts to adapt to the palace's demands, tensions inevitably arose. Royal life was governed by strict protocols, and every public appearance required meticulous preparation. Each morning, a team of palace maids would carefully dress Azrinaz in custom-made outfits, fit for a royal consort. From her wardrobe to her beauty routine, every detail was carefully curated to uphold the monarchy's image. But Azrinaz's role was far more than superficial. She actively participated in state functions, charity events, and cultural ceremonies, both within Brunei and abroad. Her involvement in these initiatives helped define her as a respected member of the royal family. Yet, despite the glamour and prestige, palace life was far from harmonious. The strain of palace politics. The wives of the Sultan were expected to collaborate closely, particularly on important religious and cultural events, such as Eid al-Fitr. While these occasions offered opportunities for bonding and shared purpose, they also intensified underlying tensions. The palace's unspoken rules and rigid hierarchies often led to misunderstandings and emotional conflicts between the wives. These disputes, no matter how small, were rarely addressed by the Sultan himself, leaving his wives to navigate their differences alone. For Azrinaz, this isolation was one of the most challenging aspects of her time in the palace. Without close allies in the household, she relied on her inner strength to endure the emotional strain that came with royal life. Despite her warm, approachable nature, moments of deep loneliness became an inevitable part of her existence in the palace. Though there were occasional moments of camaraderie among the wives, especially when it came to shared interests such as fashion, charity work, and raising children, these connections couldn't always shield Azrinaz from the pressures of palace politics. Over time, the emotional toll of the palace's rigid structure and complex dynamics began to weigh heavily on her. After 5 years of marriage, the pressures of royal life and the growing tensions within the palace led to a public and highly scrutinized divorce. On June 16, 2010, Brunei's state television announced the end of Azrinaz and Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah's marriage. The news sent shockwaves across the country and beyond, leaving the world stunned. In line with Bruneian royal customs, Azrinaz's royal titles were immediately revoked, and she retreated from the public eye. The reasons behind the divorce remained a mystery, as neither the Sultan nor Azrinaz ever publicly disclosed the details. For many, the divorce marked the end of Azrinaz's royal chapter, but for Azrinaz herself, it marked the beginning of a new and transformative journey, one that would redefine her legacy in ways no one could have predicted. Azrinaz's new beginning, a love rekindled and a future reimagined. In a surprising turn of events, Azrinaz Majar made an announcement on May 1, 2018, that no one could have predicted. 8 years after her highly publicized divorce from Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah of Brunei, Azrinaz quietly remarried. Her new husband, Pharaoh Khan Abdul Hamid, was no stranger to her. The two had known each other for over 20 years, but what made this marriage truly special wasn't just their long-standing friendship. It was the fact that this union was built on something real and deeply personal, not on status or obligation. This time, Azrinaz opted for simplicity. Unlike the grandeur of her royal wedding years ago, this ceremony was intimate and low-key. It took place in her home, with only her closest family members, friends, and a marriage registrar present. There were no extravagant decorations or opulent celebrations, just a quiet moment of love and commitment between two people who had shared years of friendship. Azrinaz later shared the news with her followers on Instagram, posting pictures of herself in a stunning baju kurung, her face glowing with genuine happiness. The post went viral almost instantly, with fans from both Brunei and Malaysia sending their heartfelt congratulations. But this marriage was more than just a love story. It was about rediscovery. At 39, Azrinaz had grown into a more reflective, wiser version of herself. Her perspective on life had shifted. She no longer sought a life defined by royalty, but instead one filled with understanding, companionship, and genuine connection. Pharaoh, who had known her before the world did, was the partner she had been searching for all along. Their love may have only blossomed in the last year, but their connection had been there for decades. The news of Azrinaz's remarriage sent shockwaves through the royal circles of Brunei, particularly within the palace walls. While Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah remained silent on the matter, whispers began to circulate that the revelation had stirred something deep within him. It wasn't just the surprise of seeing his former wife move on. It was the undeniable truth that she was truly happy. Perhaps for the first time, she was finding the happiness she never experienced while within the royal palace. For years, Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah had been the center of her world. But now that chapter had closed, and Azrinaz had begun a new one, outside the constraints of royal life. This new reality seemed to have affected the Sultan more than anyone could have expected. It wasn't just the shock of her moving on, it was the realization that she had finally carved out a life where she could thrive, unburdened by the weight of royalty. In 2019, Azrinaz and Pharaoh welcomed their first child together, a daughter named Arisia Mala. The birth of their daughter marked another significant milestone in Azrinaz's life, and sources close to the royal family suggest it left Sultan Bolkiah feeling deeply reflective. He had once envisioned a future for Azrinaz, where she remained part of his world, raising their children under the royal umbrella. Now, he could only watch from afar as she embraced motherhood outside the palace gates. Rumors swirled that the Sultan, in rare private moments, had expressed feelings of regret over their divorce. He was reportedly left wondering how things might have turned out differently, contemplating the choices that had led to their separation. While the Sultan never openly acknowledged his feelings, it seemed clear that seeing Azrinaz move on and build a family outside of the palace was a reminder of what could have been. Azrinaz's journey, however, was far from over. On February 1st, 2021, she once again stunned the world with an unexpected announcement. This time, it wasn't about love or marriage, it was about new life. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Azrinaz revealed that she was 7 months pregnant with her fourth child. Alongside breathtaking maternity photos, she shared a powerful message. "This is not a throwback. What you see in this picture is happening now." The timing of her announcement was significant. It had been years since her divorce from the Sultan, yet it seemed that every major moment in her life continued to draw his attention. The remarriage, the birth of her daughter, and now the news of another child on the way all served as subtle reminders of the life Azrinaz had built outside the royal family. A life that the Sultan had once envisioned for her, but that she had since reimagined on her own terms. For the Sultan, these milestones must have been impossible to ignore. As he witnessed Azrinaz's journey unfold from afar, it was clear that her happiness was no longer tied to the royal life she had once led. Whether or not he fully acknowledged it, Azrinaz's transformation had become a poignant reflection of how much she had grown and how far she had come from the palace life that had once defined her. The milestones in Azrinaz Majar Hakim's life since her royal days have been impossible to ignore. Once, she was the wife of one of the world's most powerful monarchs, but now she has taken full control of her own destiny. The woman who once walked into the palace as a royal bride has transformed into someone who is confident, independent, and unapologetically herself. She no longer looks to the past. Azrinaz is living for the future. But the big question remains: did Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah secretly regret losing Azrinaz? Or had he made peace with her newfound independence? Stay tuned to discover the truth. Azrinaz's life today is a far cry from the grandeur of Brunei's royal palace. Once the wife of one of the most powerful monarchs in the world, Azrinaz has stepped away from the spotlight of royalty to embrace a life of independence, purpose, and self-discovery. Gone are the days of royal protocols and meticulously planned appearances. In their place, Azrinaz has forged a new life, one that's built on personal growth, career ambitions, and an unwavering commitment to her children. Her transformation is remarkable. She's proven that reinvention is not just possible, it can be empowering, even after leaving behind a life of unimaginable luxury. The turning point came in 2010, when her high-profile divorce from Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah shocked the world. Stripped of her royal titles, Azrinaz suddenly found herself navigating life beyond the protective walls of the palace. Yet rather than fading into obscurity, she made a conscious choice to rebuild herself from the ground up, carving out a path that was entirely her own. Now married to her second husband, Azrinaz's life has become more grounded and peaceful. Her days are no longer shaped by royal schedules or expectations, but are instead dedicated to her well-being and personal fulfillment. Health and fitness are central to her new lifestyle. Yoga, meditation, and long nature walks have become essential routines that help maintain both her physical and mental balance. This newfound focus on self-care is in stark contrast to the rigid, often demanding structure of her life as a royal consort. Yet, while her lifestyle has changed dramatically, one role remains unchanged: that of a devoted mother. Despite the geographical distance between her and the two children she shares with the Sultan, Azrinaz remains deeply connected to them. She may not see them as often as she'd like, but she ensures that her presence is always felt in their lives, often communicating with them online and sending well wishes on special occasions. It's clear that for Azrinaz, a mother's love knows no boundaries. Azrinaz has also successfully reclaimed her career in media, showing the world that her ambitions go far beyond her royal past. Before marrying the Sultan, she was already making a name for herself in Malaysia's media industry as a respected journalist and TV presenter. Now, years later, she has returned to the industry, but this time as a producer and content creator. Rather than being the subject of media attention, Azrinaz now uses her skills to shape narratives and tell meaningful stories. Her workday now includes brainstorming sessions, media project planning, and collaborating with production teams, allowing her to channel her creativity into projects that matter. Despite stepping away from her royal life, Azrinaz's commitment to philanthropy remains unwavering. During her time in the Brunei royal family, she was deeply involved in charitable initiatives, a passion that has only grown stronger since her divorce. Today, Azrinaz dedicates her time and resources to causes close to her heart, particularly those focused on women's empowerment, education, and health. Whether attending fundraisers, collaborating with nonprofit organizations, or using her platform to raise awareness, Azrinaz continues to make a meaningful impact on the lives of those in need. Her story is a testament to the fact that true influence isn't defined by titles or status. It's about making a positive difference in the lives of others. The resilient reinvention of Azrinaz Majar Hakim. What makes Azrinaz's story so compelling isn't just that she was once a queen, but how she has redefined herself beyond that title. Many expected her to fade into the background after her divorce, but she has done the exact opposite. Azrinaz has built a life filled with purpose, passion, and dedication to the values that define her. Her journey is one of resilience, reinvention, and self-discovery. She has embraced change, adapted to new circumstances, and proven that identity isn't defined by status or royalty. It's shaped by the strength of one's character. As she continues to carve her own path, it's clear that Azrinaz's transformation is far from over. Her story isn't just about overcoming the past, It's about embracing a future that she's built on her own terms. What do you think about Azrinaz's remarkable transformation and the Sultan's reaction? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.